Hi guys, this is Oksana for Fine Art and welcome to Technical Thursdays. Today we are going on a black and white experiment. So what I mean by that is that I will be experimenting with different brands of white pencils and how they perform on different brands of black paper. Now, I did not specifically go ahead and buy all the supplies for this video. What I did is I am just taking out everything I have at home and just going to see how white can be and how black paper can actually be colored black. Is it really very dark black, or is it not as black as it appears to be? And you may want to stay and continue watching if you're interested in finding out the results. We will look into different factors. For example, we are going to see how opaque or how transparent the white pencils are going to appear on top of black paper. So this is basically what I will be looking into, like how really white looks. Is it satisfactory for me in terms of how white I want it to be? So we will look at that. And I hope if it interests you, please stay with me and enjoy the video. So let's talk about materials. For the black papers that I will be using and the ones that I was able to find at home, just several of them, and I threw in a couple also more sanded surfaces as well. Why not, right? So first one we have here, and they're not gonna be in any particular order when I start my experiments, so I'm just showing you the papers that I'll be using. So Black by Fabriano. Then we have Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press Black. Then I have a Black Mixed Media by Strathmore 400 series. Then I don't have the color for it, but it's a Mi-Tinte. Okay, now we'll be using the other side. Many times you will notice people saying, oh, which side of Mi-Tinte paper that you used, because the one that's facing us is original side, and it's more on the textury, like more rough surface. And then if you turn it over, it's much smoother. And you can do your artworks on either surface depending what kind of texture you want to get. Okay, next we have UArt 400 paper, and they come in different grids. I heard about the 400 grit. It's suitable for the pastels and for colored pencils, and that's why I wanted to try and see how the colored pencil behaves on this. So that's one of the sanded surfaces that I will be using. Another one is Color Fix. Oh, it's by Art Spectrum, Color Fix Smooth. There is a Color Fix original, which is much rougher. But this one is from the black paper from the pack that I got, a pack of 10 of all different colors. And I will be testing on the black. So this is Color Fix Smooth. Then I decided I'm going to throw in a totally different kind of surface. It's also black, and it's by Dura-Bright Black. Graphics is the brand, but it's Dura-Bright. So it's opaque black color. So it would be interesting. I haven't used it. This is a relatively new paper I have recently purchased, but I have not done any artwork on this. So we are going to find out how the white pencils show on top of that. So this is for our black papers. So let's look at our white pencil collection. So for the white pencil collection, well, let me tell you, when I started pulling in all the whites that I had, this is, I found so many whites. This is unbelievable. All right, now these are both colored pencils and watercolor pencils. Now you may think, why am I throwing in the watercolor pencils? Let me tell you why. Very often in a colored pencil work, you will work with pencils in a dry form, and there has been works done that watercolor pencils in a dry form really create this beautiful results and smooth finishes, and you can just use them in a dry form, not wetted at all, and they're still pencils. And since there's so many different varieties, if watercolor pencils may work better than the colored pencils, why not? And use the watercolor pencils, right? So that's why you're gonna be saying, whoa, we don't have so much, or I don't have so much. And that's why I'm making this video. If for some instance you're going to like one white pencil over another, you don't have to purchase all of these so you can actually purchase specific one instead in open stock. And most pencils can be found online where you can purchase separately in open stock. Okay, now so let me just quickly roughly tell you the brands, and when I start my experiments I will not use in any particular order or any alphabetical order. I'll just decide on pencils in which order that I'll be using, just naturally, no specific, again, no specific plan. But let me start with colored pencils, and then I'll show you which ones will be watercolor pencils. So the first one, my mostly used, is Prismacolor white. It's Prismacolor Premier. It's wax based. Now I'm not going into details about every white pencil, whether it's wax based or oil based, or like give you any properties of light fastness ratings or any of those things. You can find reviews online where people have worked really hard on creating those reviews to give you more detailed information. This is going to be mostly just my experiments with all these white pencils without giving too many details about each of them. All right, my favorite magic pencil. Really, I use it so much in colored pencil work and mixed media work and a lot of different situations. All right, so next I'll just be laying them here actually. Luminance white by Caran d'Ache. Let's see, then I have Chinese white by Derwent Drawing. Then I have Blick Studio white. Okay, then I have Derwent Color Soft, Holbein Artists white. Let's see, Prismacolor Very Thin white. It's their Very Thin collection. Then I have Polychromos white by Faber-Castell. Let's see. Then I have Caran d'Ache Pablo white. Let's see, the Stabilo Aquarellable. Oh, that's what it says. Stabilo All white. Then I have Faber-Castell Gold Fiber Aqua white. So there'll be a lot of watercolor pencils now. Oh, except this one, Derwent Lightfast white. Again, in no particular order. This is just on the spot. This is not has been rehearsed prior to this. Kohinoor Hardmouth Mondelus white. It's a Kohinoor brand. Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer, but so it's a German name. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If not, forgive me, please. White again. And we have Prismacolor watercolor white, Progresso Kohinoor white. So these are woodless, from Woodless collection, okay? Then we have Soho Urban Artist Color Pencil white from Austria. Then we have Gold Faber white. So that was, the other one was Gold Faber Aqua by Faber-Castell, and this one just the Gold Faber, so not the watercolor pencil white. And the last one, my most favorite, well, it actually second place after the Prismacolor. I don't know, it's kind of in between, but for right now, maybe I'll change my mind later. This is Museum Aquarelle white by Caran d'Ache. It's amazing pencil in both dry and wet form. So these are going to be our whites, and hopefully we'll see some interesting results. And let's dig in. Let's begin my experiments. So before I actually start testing the white pencils on the black paper, this is what I set up, and I just took a white foam board and I cut out strips, decided just to do the horizontal strips. It would make things easier in my opinion, especially when we have to work with so many white pencils. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 papers, different papers, and here I have all their names, and that way it's easy to carry and pick it up. And I did break the white pencils into 2 categories, so I have all the colored pencils in one place, and there are about 13 colored pencils that are white. And then here we have just the watercolor pencils, and there are 6 of them. So this is what we are going to work with, and now we are ready to start. So let me go through quickly, because we have so many white pencils, and the best way I could come up with that wouldn't confuse me or anybody else is to use abbreviations for the white pencils being used. So I'm just going to go quickly what my abbreviations are and in which order, and these are going to be pencils used in this exact order for each of the black strips of paper. So since I will be doing the time lapse of me doing all these swatches, and at the end I will go to the real time, because otherwise I don't want to waste any of anybody's time, and you can see in a time lapse how I'm doing these swatches. Okay, so abbreviations are PP is Prisma Premier, PV Prisma Color Very Thin, FCP Faber-Castell Polychromos, FCG Faber-Castell Gold Faber, H is Holbein's, CL Caran d'Ache Luminance, CP Caran d'Ache Pablos, DD Derwent Drawing, DL Derwent Lightfast, DC is Derwent Colorsoft, BS is Blick Studio, KP Kohinoor Progresso, that's a woodless one, SUA is a Soho Urban Artist. And then that's the 13 of the colored pencils. And the rest 6 is watercolor. So Prismacolor Premier Watercolor, Faber-Castell Albert Dürer, okay, the watercolor pencils. Again, I apologize for pronunciation, I have to work on that. Faber-Castell Gold Faber, FCG, CMA is going to be Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle, KM is Kohinoor Mondelus, and SA is Stabilo All White. And these are just the abbreviations I came up with just to keep things much simpler. So 19 pencils total. Will be 19 swatches for each of the 7 strips of paper. So now I hope you enjoy the time-lapse video as I create these swatches for you. And we finished all the tests. And that was a lot of them. I have to tell you that some pencils surprised me, some did not. Some papers surprised me, and some did not. So let me just quickly show you a little bit more up close. And I will share my opinion with you. And of course, not all opinions are created equal. You may already have your own favorite whites or your own favorite black paper. And this is just going to be just another opinion, in this case mine. And you don't have to necessarily agree or disagree. I hope you will take it as a grain of salt or just as an extra information for you. And I hope to help you in any way possible for you to make good choices if you don't have some of these brands, colors, I mean the white pencils or the black papers. So now let's talk about the white pencils. Now it's so hard to pick your favorites. And as you can tell here, some appeared very, very white, some did not appear as white as I was hoping. And let me just tell you that I was looking for how soft they were applying and laying on the paper, also how opaque they were, and overall performance. Now the light fastness comes like as a big huge bonus, of course. And I come from background where I use a lot of the white pencils in non-black paper, so not using the black paper. I have actually, this is another reason I did this test, so I can see if I wanted to create a study on black paper just with white pencils, like a tonal study for values, I would know based on my experiments which pencil I want to go with, because I could have I felt which ones were harsher, which ones were softer, which ones were more transparent or more opaque, and also some were scratchier than others, and some were sharper than others. So let me talk to you quickly and briefly about the colored pencils in white color. Now I want to tell you overall performance. My favorites were Prismacolor Premier, no big surprise here, Holbein Artist Pencil, Derwent Drawing Pencil. Now I have to tell you, these were my absolute favorites, and some pencils surprised me. I was hoping that Luminance by Caran d'Ache, because I love using Luminance by Caran d'Ache in my other pencil works where I'm not using black paper. I don't know if it's something to do with being applying as a base layer, first layer to lay on the paper, or something to do with the components of the black papers that I have here. But I usually always love my Luminance white. I absolutely usually love it in my other works, in my regular pencil works. But in this case, it was applying very, very scratchy. I was not a big fan of that. So these are my three favorites from colored pencils. I loved both Holbein and Derwent Drawing were very soft, and Prismacolor Premier, of course, it gets so much hate out there for crumbling and breaking, but you know what? They are on a very budget-friendly side. You can buy very inexpensively lots of quantities for cheaper even, and you won't feel as bad if it breaks. But I loved all of these. Holbein probably would be on the more expensive side to get, but I loved how soft, and the coverage was very, very great coverage. Out of the watercolor pencils, I have two favorites. And again, that's just my opinion. One is Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle, no surprise there. And I have Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer, And I want to throw in Stabilo All White, but these two still my favorites. Now, if you had to pick one on the most budget-friendly side, that would be probably the Faber-Castell one. Caran d'Ache is on the most expensive side, but you gotta love it. If you just use it occasionally or as finishing touches or just blending in certain colors and layers, that's a good one to have in your stock for sure. So these were my favorites, just like I mentioned. The other pencils were, some of them like surprised me in a good and not so good way, and some I didn't care for. But as you can see, hopefully this helped you in any way. And this was a lot of fun to do. And if I had to compare all the black papers out of all these experiments, just like I did with white pencils, I gave you my opinion on my favorite ones. So I can tell you exactly what my favorites and non-favorites were. I really, really liked Mid-Tone black paper, and I liked also Fabriano black. And my third favorite was UArt 400. I really, really liked it. And really, really easy to apply the pigment on, even if it's a sandy surface. My least favorite, I would say, was probably the mixed media by Strathmore, and the other one was Color Fix Smooth. Thank you so much for staying and watching the video. I hope it was very helpful for you and you're able to use suggestions from my experiments. Hopefully it would aid you in buying the right white pencil or the right black paper for yourself, for your own practice. So I was hoping that if it was beneficial anyway, please leave the comment below. I would so much appreciate hearing from you. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.